A morning session on day four that had loads of events. India have got over 100 runs. England have picked up 4 wickets. The lead now has gone past 360. So it makes for an interesting conversation with Wasim, Jaffer and Ashley Giles once more on ESPNcricinfo Match Day as to who the happier team would be after that session. Ashley, is it one of those rare sessions where both teams would be happy?
Yeah, it's a strange one, actually. I mean, India got a bit of a flyer. I think they had 20 odd off the first 4 overs and were really getting away from England. But those 4 wickets have just sort of, I know it's a 3-6-1 lead, but those 4 wickets have kept England in the match. And it is still a very big lead. Yeah, I think both sides have been reasonably happy. Certainly, having lost those wickets, India will be pleased they've got 3-6-1 on the board. But I thought England stuck to the task well.
Wasim, happier team at the end of that session?
I think India would be happier, but 360 is a good enough score. I feel still they would knowing that what England can do and what they have done recently, they would still want that lead to go past 400. And it's a good thing that Ravindra Jadeja is still there. And if he bats with the tail right till the end, then I think that can happen. But yeah, India would be happier out of those two.
I mean, it seems like fine margins. Yesterday, Ashley Giles did say on our show that 20 runs, or rather 350 runs, and England would think that's a good job. They'd fancy themselves to chase this. So you bring up those first 4 overs and the 20 runs that came rather easily on day four, Ashley. England's tactics and your thoughts on it to start off with Joe Root?
I thought it was strange. They're obviously they were lingering on the Pant dismissal first innings and thought they could perhaps get him again. So there's 2 bits to that. I thought it was weird that Seamer didn't open the bowling, and I also thought, I know it's easy in hindsight, when Leach comes on and in his second over of the innings he gets Pant out, but you then reflect and go, well, actually there is a bit more there for the left arm spinner. He bowled a bit wider into the rough. That one that he got Pant out with didn't spin a lot, but it stopped. It burst through the top of the pitch. What if, I'd be asking myself, if he came on a bit earlier? Could he got, Pant's got another 50 under his belt there. Could he have, he got Pant out a little bit earlier?
Could that be decisive, Wasim, that England allowed India to just get comfortable at the start of a new day?
I think what Ashley said, I think they wanted to buy, Pant's wicket and force him to play, a false shot. And it's understandable, but yeah, saying that in the early morning, you need to bring in your best bowler. But it's 50-50. You know that, Pant's not going to hold back too much, but he played very smartly. So you've got to give credit to how Pant played as well.
All right, fair enough. Now, both overnight batters dismissed. Pujara's vigil came to an end courtesy to a broad Jack Leach accounting for Rishabh Pant. But I think the big talking point in conversation will be Shreyas Iyer, who once again has fallen victim to the short ball. Wasim, it's the kind of thing that would make you worry about Shreyas Iyer's future in Test cricket. How have you viewed that innings, and what is the work left to do now for Shreyas Iyer? There seems to be quite a bit.
Well, we have spoken about it, Raunak. He needs to improve that. There's nothing wrong in, him looking uncomfortable and, having any problem. I mean, no batter in the world doesn't have any problem. But it's just that, you can't get out to that short time and again. And India, I think India plays Australia next time around in the away series. And if he bats like this, they'll be licking their lips. So he needs to improve and improve really fast.
As a batting coach, Wasim, if you are sitting down with a batter like Shreyas Iyer, who knows got lots of talent, but this clear problem of the short ball and the fact that he gets into these uncomfortable positions, how do you break down what he's supposed to do? What's the actual job now?
Well, I think he needs to play those deliveries time and again in the nets. He can't, hide that away that there is a problem. And even if he feels uncomfortable, he need to ride that, because team are going to bowl there every time he comes into the crease. But he just need to understand that, he somehow need to tackle that. Even if he gets it on the body, or, he can't take that route of just keep hooking or keep pulling, because the fielders in Test cricket, there's no hiding away. They'll put fielders there and they'll keep bowling there. So he needs to find out, what is the best method. There's definitely no way he can keep pulling and hooking and survive for longer periods. So he needs to understand, if he gets hit, he looks uncomfortable, he looks ugly. that is all right. But as long as it's there, because he's got all the other shots, every time they pitched up, he's got shots, he's got cut, he got drives. It's the short ball that he needs to understand that if he's uncomfortable, it's fine, but you just need to find a way to tackle it.
Ashley, how would you work?
Yeah, I think the word Wasim used there is spot on. His method. You've got to work out your method for playing short bowling, and that may be not playing it. We watch Pujara. He hardly ever plays a hook shot. And if you are going to play it, then you need to work out a proper technique and method to do that. And he does look a bit scrambled, not sure what to do, and it looked like that dismissal could happen at any point. Some of the best players in the world, like Steve Waugh, haven't been big pullers and hookers of the ball, but you've then got to work out a way to get out of the way of it. And as a bowling attack, you can use that method of going in at the pitch and going short for a certain amount of time. But if someone's getting out of the way, well, eventually all you're doing is just wearing yourself out. So you switch to a different plan quite quickly.
So the way to go is perhaps to not play the short ball. That takes as much skill and practice as well than to play it well.
Well, yeah, look, I think that's just the method. You either do or you don't, or you have it in your armory. There's no harm in having it in your armory to play it when you need it. But you don't, you can have all the tricks in the book, but you don't have to get them all out.
Wasim?
Yeah, I mean, he needs to understand, Raunak, that it's the time of the innings that they'll attack. It's probably somebody like Shreyas. They'll attack him straight away when he comes into bat, or they'll attack somebody like Pujara when he gets into the 40s or 50s, when they know they're not going to getting him out in the normal way. So that is when they attack. So he needs to just understand and take it on, by just being defensive, just avoiding the short ball, and once that spell is over, then you can cash in. That's a method I think he needs to understand.
So this is just technical, or is there among maybe not just Shreyas, but some batters who just fear short bowling? That's an element as well, Ashley?
Yeah, I think there's certainly a psychological edge to this. He's clearly a very good player. He's got a lot of shots. But facing short bowling and being a tail ender, I probably know more about it than most. There's a certain amount of an attack on your sense of masculinity almost, and can you stand the heat? Can you take it on? Can you last it? And some players come out, by playing shots and throwing punches at it, and some, who are calmer and just have the technique and the method. Well, they don't really care. If it's there to hit and you've practiced it really well, and you've got good technique, you'll play it. Otherwise, just get out of the way and go, look, just keep banging it all day, because it's not going to get me out. And, eventually you've got to come and bowl to my strengths, bowl to my plan.
I mean, Ashley mentioned Steve Waugh, Wasim. We've seen MS Dhoni too. These are players who may not have had the technique, but they were as tough as they come temperamentally. Is that something that can't necessarily be worked on? I mean, do you find more and more batters that even today are scared of short bowling?
I won't say that somebody like Shreyas is scared of the fast bowling, or he's scared of getting hit. It's just that he gets into that very difficult position where he can't hook the ball really well, or can't get under the ball. It's just that he needs to practice more of how he needs to tackle it. I don't think batsmen like him, because he's come up playing fast bowling. It's just that he's got noticed that he can't be comfortable against it. It's just that he needs to practice more and more and find a way to negate that.
All right. 2 wickets then to the short ball. That was successful for Matthew Potts in this innings. The Shardul Thakur selection, I mean, hindsight's easy, Wasim, but how's it looking about 4 days into this test match?
I think, obviously, we all know that if you just need to pick a bowler, Prasidh Krishna is far better bowler. You would always go with Prasidh Krishna as your premium bowler. But somebody to bat at number 8, isn't number 8? Yeah. Otherwise, the tail looks really, really big, and he's made a really important contribution. He's taken a 7-wicket haul as well, and he scored runs at very, very important position in Brisbane, in England last season. So that is the reason why, and he's got that ability, I think, Raunak, to pick up big wickets. He's got Joe Root out, I think, a couple of times, if I'm not wrong. So, sometimes when you face Bumrah, you face Shami, you face Siraj, you sometimes take it lightly when Shardul Thakur comes on and he picks up wickets. He gives that important breakthroughs. So, yeah, I mean, it justifies his selection, to be honest, as a fourth seamer.
I should wait one more innings. Surely, Shardul Thakur, with all his big fans and following, if he has a big tail in the fourth innings, then that's when we should look back at both teams' tactics and selections. But the lead is 3-6-1. Ashley, I was looking at that graphic that's been put on air as well on the highest scores at Edgbaston. It's not a happy chasing ground. There are not big scores chased here. Why is there reason to believe that England could do something that seems highly improbable with this number?
Well, you would only go on the confidence that they have in the dressing room after these last 3 Test matches. That's history doesn't tell us that it's necessarily going to happen or it's possible, but those records are there to be broken, and they've got guys in that team at the moment who have the confidence who think they can go out and beat anything and get anything. But realistically, I think the interesting thing in this session is the way the pitch is played, and there are a certain amount of cracks going down the wicket. You sort of say vertical cracks down the wicket, but there's also some cracks that are horizontal across the wicket. And it's those that I think cause the most issue. When it hits those cracks on the either upside or downside, that's when you get most variability and bounce. And we've seen quite a few today. And I felt a bit for Thakur because just before he got out, he got a couple of nasty ones. Got one to hit him on the shoulder from back of length, and he got hit in the face. So can understand him playing that shot. He was obviously a bit ruffled, but there's a bit there. And I think with that new ball, India's attack is going to be a real handful.
Wasim, do you also sense India, with the sort of lines that they tend to bowl, would be even harder to negotiate on this surface?
I think so. I think the wicket's playing its tricks and, bowling on the fourth evening or, on the fifth day. I think Indian bowlers will extract more out of this wicket, and it won't be easy facing Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, bowls close to 90 miles an hour. So it's not going to be easy if India goes past 400. I mean, they've chased down 300 runs successfully against New Zealand, but I think India has got a little bit better attack, than New Zealand, I feel.
All right. What do we like to see from Ravindra Jadeja right after this break? Wasim is happy to give Mohammad Shami the strike. Shami's looked all right for the limited time that he's been there, but are you expecting Jadeja to take the bowling on, to just bat normally? Are they already sort of comfortable? Should they look to slog their way to 400, 420?
I think he'll probably take on Leach every now and then. Probably that will be the way he'll probably go. Probably fast bowlers, he'll trust Shami a little bit more. If Shami gets out, then you can probably expect, Jadeja to do something. If he's facing the fifth and sixth delivery and, Stokes brings the fielder in, there's an opportunity for him to get, a couple of boundaries. Probably that's the way he's going to go. But yeah, I think if he stays till the last man, then India has a good chance of getting to that 400.
Actually, England are back to the identical plan for Shami. Guys at the back straight away, lots of short bowling. Is it going to work this time?
Oh, it could do. We're talking about a number, 9 batsmen. It's you never quite know what's going to happen down the back end. But I agree with Wasim that I think for now, Jadeja will try and nurse the tail, and he'll nurse Shami through this period, and they'll try and creep up to as close to a 400 lead as they can. And then I think if Shami gets out and Jadeja's still in, when Bumrah comes in, I actually think that it's fireworks from that point all the way to the end of the game. So I don't think England's openers are going to come out necessarily and try and survive the form they're in. I think we're going to see some action cricket.
All right, it's an annoying session. I'm not quite sure what's heading, but you think India is still in the box office, so in the box seat. So let's pick up the chat with Wasim Jaffer and Ashley Giles at the end of what will be another telling session in this test match. Good weather today, so we should get a lot more cricket than we have in the first 3 days, which were interrupted by rain. Join us at tea time for ESPNcricinfo Match Day.